Mission Impossible 2 is the sequel to the original Mission Impossible film. This one was released in 2000, and it is this time directed by John Woo instead of Brian De Palma, and it stars Tom Cruise, Tandy Newton, and Dougray Scott. If you saw my review of the original Mission Impossible, you would have seen that I said that the plot was kind of hard to keep up with at points, and it was convoluted in general. This film, completely different. It's really pretty easy to keep up with. In this one, a rogue IMF agent played by Dougray Scott has stolen this super virus called Chimera that can kill you in like 20-30 hours. It's pretty bad. So Tom Cruise is on holiday, gets a message from IMF saying, look, you gotta go on this mission. You need to recruit this girl. She's really important to it. So Tom Cruise goes to find this thief played by Tandy Newton to recruit her into the story without really knowing why. And then it's revealed that she's actually there because she had a past relationship with Dougray Scott, and so she's being sent in to, seduce him and expose his weaknesses. And of course, big plots are uncovered. Tom Cruise has to sort it. Shooty shooty bang bang. It's pretty predictable stuff. But I'll leave it there. But Mission Impossible 2 is generally considered by many fans to be the worst film in the franchise. I actually saw a comment on YouTube, not that that's a credible source, saying that Mission Impossible 2 had absolutely no redeeming qualities. Do I agree with that? Absolutely not. I think the main reason it gets so much flack from fans of the first film is that the tone in this one is very different, and that's very noticeable right from the start. John Woo directs, and he brings a very different style to the one Brian De Palma did, one less of suspense and one more of all-out action. I mean, right near the start we get this scene of Tom Cruise climbing up some rock face, to show that he's daring and incredible at doing stunts. But the music that's playing while he does this is a really odd choice. It's actually, I don't understand why he picked it. I don't know, it just doesn't really meld with the scene that's going on. I don't really notice that very much with music, but this just felt really off. And even the theme tune has changed, it's the same theme, but it's done with electric guitars now. It's all rock starry this time. It's just a little odd to see from the start, and it's actually kind of distracting, especially if you've just come from watching the first film recently like I had. But I have to say, I did eventually, after 20-30 minutes, something like that, settle into this new way of doing things, and it was a refreshing way of doing it because it's slightly different, and that's nice, isn't it? That a sequel can be like, okay, this has happened in the first one, let's try and mix it up a bit. So yeah, for the most part that works, but there are a lot of elements of Mission Impossible 2 that don't quite work and sort of bring the film down a bit. I've mentioned before that Tom Cruise has to go recruit Tandy Newton's character that is this thief, and of course they get romantically involved. I mean, come on. But that what happens in the first 20 minutes or so of this film. They're just in bed together and they're just it happens really quick. It's kind of weird. That wouldn't be so bad on its own, but the first hour 20 minutes of this film is involved with Tandy Newton infiltrating Dougray Scott as she is his ex. And so we have to watch as Tom Cruise watches scenes where she is getting with this guy against her will. And that's kind of dark stuff, actually. If the film had spent a little longer allowing us to observe this relationship, this might have been some really cool stuff that really elevated the franchise. Or even if we just got to see this love kind of come about in the first film, develop it there, bring it over to the second one. That's totally fine. But that doesn't really happen. So scenes where we're supposed to really care, we're supposed to feel dark, we're supposed to feel bad for Tom Cruise's character, we don't. Well, I mean, we kind of do, but it's more of a, oh, poor guy. Instead of a, poor man. Some of that stuff kind of stumbles. It doesn't fall flat on its face, but it's not as good as it really could have been. It doesn't live up to its potential as a plot point. But as I've said, the first hour and 20 minutes or so is spent with these characters, and there's very little action. We get one action sequence, really, at the very beginning of the film and very soon after, where it's really ridiculous, where Tandy Newton and Tom Cruise are in cars and they're like battling. It's meant to be some kind of love dance, I guess. I'm not really sure. So we get this taste of some silly but fun action that's meant to be like, satiate us for the movie. It's like, it will come later, guys, but we got to do some stuff first. So John Woo doesn't actually whip out any more action until about an hour and 20 minutes into this film. The stuff between the first and those action sequences are kind of just characters going around and doing spy-ish stuff. And I mean, this section of the film isn't enthralling or anything, but I found it relatively engaging, and I thought it was paced quite well. It moved between things in a way that I wasn't completely getting bored, and it mixed up to a certain extent, enough that I was at least engaged. It's all about this change in director that leads to this change in tone and change of direction. Brian De Palma interspersed Mission Impossible 1 with action sequences, throughout the plot, even though the plot was really hard to keep up with. But he interspersed it. We were constantly getting that taste, and obviously the middle section in that film, the middle action piece in that big white room, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about, is absolutely incredible, and nothing in this film lives up to that sequence. Although when there are action bits and when Tom Cruise is suspended from ropes again, John Woo does create genuine suspense, just not as much, and it's all good to watch. And whilst this section without action is suitable, at least, it is... And whilst I say this section without action is given a little bit more flack than I really think it deserves, it's okay, it's not the worst. It is true that I thought when the action did begin, I was an hour and 40 minutes into the film, but I was actually an hour and 20 minutes in, so if that doesn't tell you anything, you weren't listening. And so we get here, we're an hour and 20 minutes in, action is beginning. I've dealt with this first bit that's all okay, not the best, it's alright, but it's not going to make you go and kill yourself or anything. People are exaggerating a little bit. But now we're here, action's going to begin, there's shooty bang bang, all kinds of stuff, flips and jumps and punches and kung fu, which is a bit odd. Now is it? Well, yeah, it's enjoyable. John Woo does a really good job. He's famous as an action director, isn't he, in the Asian film industry, and that's spread over here. Like, we like his stuff. He does good action, he knows how to direct. And so the last 40 minutes are big, bombastic explosions, all kinds of stuff, bullets flying everywhere, and almost all of it is entertaining to watch. It's very good. And when Tom Cruise hops on a motorbike, that makes for a pretty enthralling sequence too. Although there are some problems. For example, I counted about 3 times, there might be more, where a crash or something like that occurred, and John Woo was like, okay, we'll get a picture of that up here, cool, okay, now replay it, okay, from this angle, okay, do it again, I'll get it from this angle, okay, so we got it from about 5 different angles. We'll just replay all of them, so it'll happen again and again and again, and we'll see it from all different ways. That'll be fun, won't it? And I mean, you see that in action movies sometimes. Sometimes a stunt will happen, crash, boom, and it's like, oh, that's cool. Then they'll do it from a different angle, crash, boom. You get to see it twice, different angle, that's fine. When he does it 4 to 5 times, and you see the same scene replay from a different perspective, then it kind of feels a bit silly. And as I've said, I counted about 3 times this happened. It was a little bit distracting, but the rest of the action is incredible. And the climax of the film, in general, last half hour or so, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, during this segment, they did try and throw in a twist involving a mask. I won't spoil it, but if you've seen it, you know. And it's kind of like, it's not a surprise because throughout the film they've done this thing where they'll walk out and be like, whoa, I'm this person, then another scene will be like, whoa, I'm this person. You just kind of learn not to trust it, so when something like that happens and they're clearly setting it up, you kind of, you detect that there's something fishy going on there, so it doesn't really sell you. The twist is kind of weird. It's a good idea for a twist, and if the rest of the film had been a little bit different, it would have been really cool, but I sniffed it right away, and I'm sure other people will too. Yeah, some people think this is the worst in the franchise, but to be honest, I'm going to have to give it a 7 out of 10. Same score as the first film, and I honestly can't tell you whether I preferred this one or I didn't prefer it. Like, I keep swapping back. They're such different films, actually, in many ways. It's kind of odd. Not to the extent that you can't compare them, but it's just different way of doing things. So it's kind of refreshing, but I'd probably go with the first one being slightly better, despite the incredibly convoluted plot, because of some incredible action. Like, that middle one with the white room. God. But the thing with Mission Impossible 2 is it does what it absolutely set out to do, and most of it trucks along at a pace that you can't really fault. I really kind of enjoyed it. I thought it was a good time of the movies. I thought it was dumb fun. But what did you think of Mission Impossible 2? Do you agree with me and you think it gets a little bit too much flack, way more than it deserves? Or do you disagree and you think, actually, what are you talking about? This film sucks. Whether you agree or you disagree, I'd really love to hear what you think, so comment in the boxes below and let me know what that is. Also, if you like this video, please like and favourite using the buttons below. You know what to click. And if you really like this video and you want to see more, please subscribe in the box below, because there's always going to be more content coming and it helps me more than you know. But thank you so much for watching.